They thought they were safe. They thought distance would protect them. They were wrong. When HIMARS entered the battlefield, something changed forever. Welcome to a new era of warfare, where precision meets devastation. This is the story of how Russia lost the illusion of safety, and how Ukraine turned the tide with 6 wheels, a GPS, and a terrifying payload. The high-mobility artillery rocket system, HIMARS, is not just a weapon, it's a message. A message that no bunker, no base, no command post is out of reach anymore. With a range of up to 80 kilometers using standard GMLRS rockets, or over 300 kilometers with the TACMS, HIMARS redefined what it means to strike deep. But it's not just about distance, it's about accuracy. We're talking about hitting within a few meters of the target. And in modern war, precision is power. Russia's military doctrine was built on mass, on range, on overwhelming firepower. But HIMARS introduced something different, surgical, swift, and deadly. When HIMARS first arrived in Ukraine in summer 2022, the results were immediate and devastating. Suddenly, Russian ammunition depots started to explode one after another. Command centers deep behind enemy lines, gone. Bridges critical to logistics turned into rubble. It was like someone turned off the lights on Russia's supply chain. In Kherson, for example, Ukrainian forces used HIMARS to cut off Russian reinforcements by destroying key crossings across the Dnipro River. Without ammo, without fuel, without coordination, Russian positions collapsed. This wasn't just good strategy. It was psychological warfare. Russian troops started calling HIMARS the god of war. Because when you heard the whistle, it was already too late. So how did Russia respond? First, denial. Russian officials claimed HIMARS was overrated, ineffective, even fake. But satellite imagery told a different story, craters where depots used to be. Next came defense. Russia moved S-300 and S-400 air defense systems closer to key targets. They tried to jam GPS signals. They even deployed inflatable decoys to confuse Ukrainian strikes. But none of it worked. HIMARS would hit, and it would hit hard. Why? Because HIMARS isn't just a system, it's part of a network. US satellites, NATO surveillance, Ukrainian intelligence, all working together, find the target. Confirm the coordinates, launch. It's not just firepower, it's information dominance. One Ukrainian artillery commander described HIMARS like this: "We used to fire dozens of shells to hit a depot. Now we send one rocket, and it disappears." Another soldier shared how morale shifted overnight. The moment HIMARS arrived, we stopped being afraid of their numbers. We knew now they're the ones hiding. And the Russians. Intercepted communications showed panic. Some units refused to stay near depots. Others abandoned command posts at night, fearing the next strike. This wasn't just about damage, it was about fear. HIMARS changed the psychology of war. Russia's military once believed that depth was safety, that if you placed assets 30, 40, or 50 kilometers behind the front line, they were untouchable. HIMARS shattered that illusion. Suddenly, generals had to think differently. Where can we store ammunition? Where can we set up HQ? Where can we hide? The answer, nowhere. And now, with the arrival of longer-range attackers and Ukrainian-made deep strike drones, even Crimea is within reach. No more safe zones. No more invincibility. Even airfields, radar sites, and command bunkers hundreds of kilometers away are vulnerable. Ukraine was just the beginning. Since the success of HIMARS, dozens of countries have placed orders. Poland, Taiwan, Australia, Romania. Why? Because they saw what it did in Ukraine. And so did Russia, and China, and Iran. This is not just a Ukrainian weapon anymore, it's a symbol. A symbol of 21st century warfare, precision, mobility, speed, and coordination. HIMARS is evolving, new versions, longer ranges, smarter targeting, eye-assisted coordination. And Ukraine is also innovating, using drones, decoys, and intelligence to make HIMARS even more effective. What's clear is this: the battlefield is no longer just about firepower. It's about who sees first, who strikes first, and who hits hardest. And right now, HIMARS leads that race. In every war, there are weapons that define an era. In World War II, it was the tank and the aircraft carrier. In the Gulf War, it was precision airstrikes. And in Ukraine it's HIMARS, not because it destroyed the most, but because it changed the rules. Russia can no longer hide, not behind rivers, not behind front lines, not even deep inside occupied territory. That's the HIMARS effect, and it's only just beginning.